Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. We are John and Wendy Williams with the Short-Term Rental Authority, your authority on all things short-term rental related to help make you the best operator ever. And it's the holiday season.
The holiday season. I don't know the lyrics after that.
Why do you think I'm wearing this fancy hat?
Right. So if you're listening on audio, again, last time Wendy had her beautiful Christmas ugly llama sweater on.
Who you call it ugly?
Well, they're called that, aren't they? Like ugly Christmas sweaters?
You have on your ugly Christmas sweater this year.
I do. It's so if you're listening to the audio, you'll have to come to the YouTube channel and see the wonderful Christmas sweatshirt actually that I have on. It's Darth Vader. It says, "Your lack of cheer is disturbing."
Find your lack of cheer.
I find lack of cheer disturbing. Yes. So
it's fabulous.
yes.
And then if I put my hat up like this and then pull it down,
You look like a gnome.
I look like a gnome.
A gnome.
For
For some reason, Wendy's into gnomes.
I
now.
really-
They're everywhere. There's all
really-
these Christmas gnomes.
I'm a big fan. Our
Right.
Christmas tree topper is a gnome as well.
Well, no kidding. Everything's a freaking gnome around here. But okay. Either way, and they have names. I would like to tell you that. She's named them.
Oh,
But that aside,
holiday fun.
this is our holiday
The holiday episode.
episode.
So we are going to be talking about oh my God, there's a cat in a box. Okay.
Yes, we also are wrapping presents.
Right.
And boxes.
And there's boxes.
So every time a box gets delivered, a cat gets in the new box.
Right. And on
that's
the
what cats
wrapping
do.
paper.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's a zoo around here.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about the holiday season in your short-term rental. So we're going to be talking about the questions that we usually get asked around this time of year, such as, should I put up decorations in my unit? Is there special pricing that I should do? Availability, how to make it so that guests can't check out on a holiday, for example, Christmas Day, because you don't want your cleaners to have to work on Christmas Day, right? Since we always clean on checkouts. And those are the typical questions that we usually get asked this time of year. So let's start with, what should we start with? Let's start with decorations.
Got it. So yeah, so there's in the past, and actually this question comes not only from raiders, but it comes from guests too.
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
sometimes they will ask, hey,
We've had that.
either do you have a Christmas tree up, for example,
Mhm.
or can we put one up?
Can we decorate ourselves?
Can we
Yes.
decorate ourselves?
Yep.
And typically, just as a general baseline, we don't decorate
Correct.
our places for the holidays.
Right. Because not everybody celebrates Christmas, right?
Right. Not everybody celebrates that holiday.
Correct.
So there's
So
that.
we don't decorate, but we will allow people to decorate if they would like to, as long as they take it down. And if they're using a live Christmas tree, then they have to use a stand.
Well, that's cleanup, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a little more to it there. But we do often have, especially in the houses that we have,
houses,
a lot
yeah.
of times it's either
Right.
someone coming to visit family
Right.
or
And
well,
having their celebration at
right.
the home.
Yeah, they'll actually
Yeah.
do it there because
Right.
maybe they live in a smaller space, like a
Right.
one-bedroom apartment or something,
Right.
and they want to have family, and so they'll house them there and then actually go there for
Mhm.
like Christmas Day and stuff,
Yeah.
like that,
Which is really
kinda
neat. It's
Yeah.
really neat. I really enjoy hosting that and being able to provide that service for people. That
Right.
makes me happy.
Yeah. And we've actually talked about providing that as a service. Like this,
Yeah.
maybe this is something you can
Uh-huh.
sell as
Yeah,
an
as
extra
an-
add-on.
As an upsell.
Hey, here's the holiday package,
Mhm.
or here's the Christmas package,
Mhm.
or here's the New Year's package. Because
Right.
we got New Year's coming up
That's-
too,
Yes,
right?
that's true.
Thanksgiving, not as much, but you could do some things there. But yeah, generally on decorations, I want to say our general advice is don't provide them. For one thing, are you going to have pictures of them, and are they
Right.
going to be professional photos, or are you
Right.
going to put the Christmas tree up and take it with your cell phone and say it's there, right? So there's that aspect of it.
Right. Just do it as an add-on upsell package.
Yeah, if you want to do something, sell it.
Yeah, sell it.
I think that's a really great idea.
I do too.
Because I think there are people that would pay for that.
I think so.
For
Yeah,
sure.
especially in the homes, if you're doing houses. But I can see it happening in apartments too. So
yeah, any type of
anywhere.
rental. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
So generally we don't, but if somebody asks, we'll let them do it. And hey, maybe it's an idea. Sell that as a thing.
I think that's a great idea.
I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah. So we also want to get rid of the people that work for us as well, such as our cleaners and our customer experience specialists and our operations specialists, which we also call the runner because they're the ones that do all the running around for us. We don't want them to have to work on the holiday as well. So we try to make it so that guests cannot check out on, say, for example, Christmas or Christmas Eve.
Or New Year's Eve.
Or New Year's Eve.
New Year's Day.
Or Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. So one of the things we've discovered that we should be doing is when we bring on a new cleaner, for example, ask them, what are the holidays that you guys don't work during the year? Right. And one of those holidays can't be every Sunday.
Right.
Right. So that's actually one of our filtering questions.
Right.
But as far as, national holidays go, or it could be 4th of July, it could be, whatever. Do they take off Thanksgiving? Do they take off Christmas? Is it Christmas? Is it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day that you guys don't do? Or is it both? Is it New Year's Day or New Year's Eve? Because I always get confused, like which one's the actual holiday?
Right.
Because everybody celebrates on New Year's Eve, right?
Sure.
Right. But you get New Year's Day off. So I don't know. But either way, that having that conversation up front will tell you, okay, these are the days that we don't want checkouts on.
Yes.
Because I'm not cleaning it. Right.
And you definitely don't want me to clean it.
Right. So it's not only a courtesy thing, but it's also just a practicality thing of when do they work.
Right.
And you may have somebody that doesn't bother them at all because they don't celebrate Christmas.
Right.
Right. So maybe it's not a big deal. The technical, how do you do that is different than you might think. Because a lot of people, the first thing they think is, okay, I'll make Christmas Day a 3-day minimum. And that's not actually doing what you think it's doing. It just means if they book Christmas Day, they have to book 3 other days.
And those days could be the
2 days before. Right? Or the 5 days before even, or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
So it doesn't actually prevent the checkout on that day.
Correct.
So to do that, the only way I know of doing it right now is to go to the actual platform.
Like Airbnb or
Vrbo. And actually you can set up what are called rule sets that essentially won't allow a checkout on that day. So at the beginning of every year, we go through all of those holidays. I know we're talking about Christmas and things, right? But there are other days during the year that we don't want that too.
Right.
And so at the beginning of every year, we'll go through and for the year, set those rule sets up so that we don't have to remember to do it later. Because you never know how far in advance somebody's going to book. So we set that up for the whole year and then we don't have to worry about it. And then next year we readjust. Because some days are always like December 25th is always Christmas.
Right. But
New
it's
Year's Eve is always
day.
January or December 31st.
But it's on a different day of the week.
Right. Yes.
Whereas Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday.
Whereas Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday, and that's important because when you're setting up those rule sets, it's not like you're saying you can't check out on the 25th.
Right.
You're really saying you can't check out on a Thursday. And well, this year Christmas is on a Sunday.
It's on Sunday.
It happens to be that Christmas is on Sunday, and New Year's is on Sunday. I think.
Isn't it always that way?
No, because it could be Monday.
No, I mean
Or
they're
Tuesday.
always on the same day of the week.
I don't know if that's true or not. It seems like it would be. But maybe not. I don't remember. But either way, we want to set up those rule sets so that it applies for that year. Where Thanksgiving, for example, is always on a Thursday.
Right.
So that one you probably don't have to.
And we can show you how to do that. And we would be glad to help you out with that if you'd like to message us and get on a call, and we would be happy to show you how to do that.
Yeah, and when Wendy says message us, she means you can find us on Instagram, Short Term Rental Authority. You can find us on Facebook, Short Term Rental Authority. any of those places, message us and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's
Yeah.
don't allow people to check out on holidays.
Right.
Is the general rule.
Right.
And then there's a way of doing that that's typically on the platform, but it's not your minimum stays that do it. However, when we are talking about availability, we usually do set minimum stays for those holidays.
Right.
Because those tend to be the most expensive days of that month. So like, for example, in December, it's kind of a slow month for us normally, but if you can get someone that books, those 3 or 4 days around Christmas, those dates are elevated because we're using a pricing tool, dynamic pricing tool, which you should be using, and it will capture those higher days. And what it does is it offsets for the lower occupancy and lower prices that generally occur earlier in the month, right? So it's important for us at least to set, 2, 3, 4 day minimums perhaps around Christmas, New Year's, those types of days, so that you're not just selling Christmas Day. So you're also capturing Christmas Eve, the day after, and maybe even the day before Christmas Eve, right?
And it helps with, I'm assuming that it helps also with people who actually do want to stay those longer stays.
Yeah,
It makes it available for those people.
That's true. And we all always do that anyway. It's part of our pricing and availability strategy, is that we simply don't allow short stays beyond a certain window. For us, that's 10 days. But at the same time, I want to make sure that that extends out for those days anyway. And you can do that with Price Labs. It's something that, we can show you how to do, jump on a coaching call, message us, but that is a way of actually enhancing your revenue during this time as well. Because at least for us, it tends to be, we get the holiday bookings, but what do we do with the rest of the month?
Right.
Right. And so there's that.
Right.
That's all I have to say about it. What was the next thing?
Pricing.
Pricing. Well, pricing, I kind of just mentioned that a little bit, but you want to take that one?
Pricing? Well, you're usually the one that does that.
Okay.
So I don't. See, I have my lane. I will do the decorations. I stay in my lane and I do not deviate from my lane.
Right. Okay.
So I do I'll do the personnel aspect of the business, and I go get them. I make them look pretty, and then I give them to you and say, here you go. Here's a new unit.
Fill them up.
You. Fill them up.
Fill them up, please. Right.
And you are fantastic about that. That is your lane. You're the master.
Yeah. So if you want pricing and availability and booking help,
you are the master.
Give us a coaching call as well.
You are.
Or give us a shout.
We have people.
Our socials.
We have coaching clients all the time that say, the changes that you made on our pricing, we got booked. People say that all the time.
You're 10 out of 10.
Right.
Yeah, right. But so generally, when I'm talking about pricing, the pricing tool is going to do a lot of it. So your dynamic pricing tools, again, it's a tool.
When we use Price Labs, there's others out there,
Price Labs
like
is what we
Wheelhouse
prefer.
or whatever, but
there's Wheelhouse, there's Beyond Pricing, but the principle's the same.
Correct.
What they're doing is they're raising and lowering your prices dynamically on a per day basis based on demand. And those holiday days are always high demand. So the price is always above your medium or your median, your average, right? So the pricing tool is going to capture that. If you're going to do anything at all, you might add an additional percentage to that, at least further out, because you've got time. You've got time to get it booked. So you might as well book it at a premium. And then you can always pull that back as the date gets closer. But keep in mind, as the date gets closer, your quote competition, which I don't like that word, but the other units that are available in your area they're booked. So you become more and more in demand because there's less and less supply, and that allows you to actually capture that. So that is one of the strategies, is kind of a last man standing type strategy. However, you kind of have to be careful about that because longer stays are a thing too, and they tend to be booked further out.
That's true.
So it's kind of a balancing act. You can price yourself out of those longer stays that you might have gotten that would have been overall more profitable. However, you can get a premium for those a few days around the holiday. So it's kind of there's a little bit of an art, there's a little bit of a science to it.
And I bet experience has something to
And
do
the
with it
experience
too,
has
and
something to
knowing
do
your
it too.
market when you start to operate year after year, you'll tend to see those. There will be trends too.
Right. And there's certain metrics and KPIs that you want to be basically tracking, like on average, how many days in advance do people book in December, for example?
That's a great KPI.
What is your average length of stay in a December, right? What is, how many views to bookings? What's that ratio look like, right? And all of these kind of things. So you can start measuring that and seeing where you need to be and what you're actually trying to target with your pricing and with your strategy and with your availability.
And it's probably a good idea to track that per month.
You want to track it. It can be as granular as you want, right? But you're right, because each month is a little different.
Right, because the industry seems to be very seasonal, not seasonal by like winter, spring, summer, and fall, but we're seasonal by month.
Yeah, December's not the same as November.
Right.
And November's not the same as October.
Right.
And January and February are totally different. And every month is a little different. So as you operate throughout a year, now you have that data to go back and look at, because it's always, you can't come to me and say, hey, is this a good number? Because as one of my mentors, Jay Massey, says all the time, compared to what?
Right.
Right. I have to know, what am I comparing it to know if it's a good number or not. Right. So if you have that past data, then the longer you operate, the better you get at it, because you know what to expect and you know what's abnormal and what's normal. Right?
And, post-COVID, it's...
Well, all the data changed.
All the data changed.
So if you had data pre-COVID, during COVID, that wasn't relevant.
Yeah, totally.
At all.
Right.
And now the world is in what we call the new normal, coming into the new normal, and now it's all different. So your data is not as, even if you've been operating for 5 years,
right?
Well, you can discount the last 3.
Right.
Right. And say, okay, we're kind of start over with our metrics and the data collection and see what's happening in today's world, right? As far as that goes.
Yep.
So that's my pricing and availability long-winded answer to how you deal with that.
Okay.
And it really applies across the board. It's just a little more targeted when you get a holiday. And I would say that applies even more to what we call a tentpole event, which is kind of like a holiday.
Yeah, I was that's interesting.
So a tentpole event, if you don't know, it's almost like a one-time event that comes to your area. Like, for example, we had the NBA All-Star game here in Charlotte one time.
Right.
That's something that they don't come to the same city every year. Or if you're the city that has the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Right. Or if there's, whatever it is, it could be one of the political party conventions. We had the DNC convention here in Charlotte.
Right.
And that was what you call a tentpole event. Right. So for those events, it's very similar. We tend to do the same thing. So not only holidays with this strategy, but also those tentpole events that you have coming in.
Oh, that's really good. I hadn't thought about making that.
Yeah. And another reason you should be using a dynamic pricing tool, because
it'll do that for
you. It'll
you.
catch it.
Yeah.
Because you may not know.
Right.
It may be the International Spatula Convention coming to your area, and you're not that into spatulas, so you don't know.
Yes.
But the pricing tool is going to notice that, the demand is increasing. There must be a reason. Let's raise prices.
Right.
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 So
Yeah, that is
catch it to
really cool about the tool. But it's a tool. It's not a set it and forget it type thing, and it's something that you have to learn. Like Jay Massey says, it's an expert tool that you have to learn how to use expertly, right?
Yeah.
And we can help you with that too, right? So learning how to use those dynamic pricing tools is a skill, and we can.
Is.
Okay, I'm not going to say we. John can help you with that.
Wendy can help you too.
I can, to a certain extent. That's true.
You act like all you do is
That's
design
true.
places and
That's
don't do
true.
anything else. And that's not true. That's not true at all.
I can help with us to a certain extent, yes, but there is a strategy to it. to using those tools. So if you want help with that, you let us know.
Yeah, DM us,
DMs.
social media.
We are
Instagram,
all over.
Facebook, anywhere you can find us.
All over. Yes, the Short-Term Rental Authority. That is us. You got anything else in your words of wisdom, in your, say it in your Darth Vader voice?
Your lack of pricing is
Your lack of dynamic pricing is disturbing. That's funny.
the student becomes the master.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not James Earl Jones. Sorry.
I don't know. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
You do have the Santa beard going on.
Yeah. Well, if you want to see my Santa beard,
maybe you should be wearing the hat.
well, I'm already wearing the sweater. I just need I have the bowl full of jelly.
Oh, it's perfect.
Have you made me a gnome? I can't tell.
But I could. Oh, let me see.
Okay, now I'm a jolly gnome. So again, if you want to see the jolly gnome, head over to the YouTube channel and you can check it out.
Well, I hope you found some value and entertainment in today's podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe. We are John and Wendy Williams. This is Darth Vader, and we will see you next time.
On to the
next.
Ho, ho, ho.